Welcome to Psychology Refresh. Today, we're going to go over the 10 major differences between INTP and INFJ personality types. Make sure to watch each one of them, because you will be surprised how different those personality types are. On the first look, the INTP personality type might seem similar to the INFJ personality for many reasons. This is mostly because, of the 16 personalities, INTP consists of the introverted, intuitive, thinking, and prospecting characters, while the INFJ personality has the introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging characters. However, as you can see, they have completely different function stacks. This means that these types are very different from each other, and the thinking/feeling preference and prospecting/judging preference aren't the only things that don't match up. If you were ever confused if you're an INTP personality type or an INFJ personality type, this video will provide you an answer. Furthermore, knowing those differences will help you in your self-improvement journey and increase your social skills. Let's examine the differences between these two personality types. Here are 10 major differences between INTP and INFJ personality types. Number 1. Analytical approach versus intuitive approach. When examining the world, INTPs prefer to take an analytical approach, focusing on objectivity and precision. They excel in organizing and structuring different tasks. Their strength is their capacity to concentrate, taking the time to dissect many theories, thoughts, and concepts with their introverted thinking, TI. INFJs, on the other hand, observe the environment using both their dominant introverted intuition and auxiliary introverted thinking. They can use an analytical technique to synthesize facts, but they also have a strong sense of intuition that allows them to comprehend and sympathize with others' feelings. Thus, they rely more on their intuition when observing the world around them. Number 2. Logical argument versus emotional connection. INTPs are usually not unconcerned about what others think of them. Taking the logical way is more essential to them than pleasing others. In fact, they may be so focused on their own analysis that they're oblivious to others without even recognizing it. Even with close friends, INTPs find it difficult to talk about their feelings. They are not very conscious of their own feelings and often ignore them. They are also more private than INFJs. Someone who prides themselves on being logical also feels self-conscious about expressing their feelings. As a result, even their closest friends may be unaware of their feelings. Instead, intellectual debate and discussion are more likely to invigorate INTPs. They enjoy debating and developing their ideas, and they will point out errors and contradictions in others' claims. Because INFJs lack the profound emotional connection they crave, INFJs often feel lonely. They want someone they can entirely trust and be honest with, so they can communicate our most intimate feelings and ideas with them. If they are constantly seeking attention and want people to understand them better, unhealthy INFJs might appear clingy and needy. INFJs find debates and arguments to be a bit nitpicky and contentious. Despite the fact that they are both introverted and like to be alone, INFJs prefer more social interactions than INTPs. Number 3. Proactive leadership versus inspirational leadership. INTPs require proactive responses from those around them, rather than constant asking. They value well-considered ideas and actions, and will work hard to ensure that this is the case. People will follow INFJs because they believe in them and want to join, and they can be inspirational leaders because of their evangelistic devotion to the cause. If you are enjoying our content, please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell. Number 4. Methodical examination versus holistic examination. When tracking difficulties, INTPs prefer to take a step-by-step approach, relying on principles to guide them. Before forming a hypothesis, they look at a situation through a totally objective lens. They use the internal structure of their brain to comprehend the various components of a system, clinging to what they know to be true while seeking answers. INFJs, on the other hand, frequently begin by recognizing the emotions of individuals involved in a situation. They then consider all of the options and use their intuition and analytical thinking to choose the optimal solution. They can see all of the probable outcomes of their actions and, in many cases, may recognize opportunities for growth in challenging situations. Number 5. Working with facts versus working with people. INTPs are good at occupations that need them to be analytical and come up with innovative ideas. They excel at working with tangible objects and can excel in fields such as engineering and mathematics. They aren't usually excellent at interacting with others, which makes employment like counseling or teaching challenging for them. INFJs excel at jobs that need them to be creative and generate new ideas. They frequently have a strong intuition that they might use to generate new ideas. They're also strong at working with people, which can make them good at jobs like counseling or teaching if they have enough alone time to recharge. Number 6. Broad picture versus idealism. The INTP dislikes excessive detail and prefers to work in a broad picture. They are bored by the basic and apparent, and everything they perceive to be small or inconsequential will be put aside. INFJs are strong humanitarians who are idealists who, because of their need for closure and completion, are both doers and dreamers who shoulder an excessive amount of responsibility. Number 7. Studying versus connecting. INTPs plan their lives according to what makes the most sense to them. They are less structured than INFJs and are less likely to have a big strategy for their life goals. They are more concerned with learning how things work and rarely consider how their activities affect people on a bigger scale. INFJs plan their lives around their end objective. They want discipline and routine, but they also want to understand how their actions influence others. INFJs seek to feel connected to something bigger than themselves and find significance in their lives. Number 8. Diverse interests versus focused interests. INTPs read a wide range of books and are generally well-versed in a variety of topics. They are information junkies. If you ask them a question, they will most likely be able to provide you with some information, or at the very least, direct you to some resources. They are enthralled by the prospect of having many different thoughts. On the other hand, INFJs are overwhelmed by a great volume of disorganized data. They may be blind to certain things since they are so concentrated on their areas of interest. That also explains why INFJs are sometimes so quiet and unable to engage in group talks with others. Number 9. Emotional loop of overanalyzing versus emotional shell. When agitated, INTPs are prone to emotional breakdowns, withdrawing inside themselves even when questioned or talked to. They may become easily sidetracked by minor events in order to avoid whatever is causing them to feel overwhelmed. Many of them will get locked in the TI-SI loop of reanalyzing prior occurrences without coming to any conclusions. When INFJs are confronted with extreme situations, they will turn inward even more than is natural for their introverted personality, leading to a NITI loop, in which they become detached from others and more aggressive and unfeeling. They'll be stuck reacting emotionally to all the negative possibilities their introverted intuition suggests without any objective reasoning. All TI does is come up with subjective reasoning to support what NI suggests. Anything NI says is true when they're in a depressive loop. Number 10. Autonomy versus cooperation. The INTP is a deep, private, difficult to understand personality who is fiercely autonomous. They devote their attention to the things that fascinate them the most, deferring work until the last minute since the routine bores them. INTPs are obsessed with logical accuracy, which is a sign of being an INTP. An INTP has trouble with emotions and is skilled at interpreting conditions, but not people. Values are extremely important to the INFJ. They are serious and caring. They will be wonderful listeners, helpful, and often the trigger for making things better because of their intense desire to do the right thing. The INFJ is highly independent of thought and spirit, and will work diligently behind the scenes to establish harmony, peace, and maintain their values. This is one of the biggest differences between INTPs and INFJs. These videos will be really helpful for you.